Twice, the men who murdered her husband sent messengers to ask for her hand in marriage. Twice, she said yes. Neither group of men ever went home. This is not a story someone invented on the internet. It happened in Kyiv long ago. Monks wrote it down, clearly frightened of the woman they were describing. Her name was Olga. Her husband was Igor, a prince of the Rus. Igor was a warlord who rode out each winter to collect tribute from tribes. Furs, honey, wax, silver. There was no fixed amount and no receipt. A ruler took what he could, and the people gave what kept him away. That system was the villain. Nobody had ever written down how much was enough. In 945, Igor collected tribute from the Drevlians, but he wanted more. He turned back with a small band of men to demand extra payment. The Drevlian leader, Mal, declared, "If a wolf is not killed, he takes the flock." They killed Igor in the forest in a way designed to be remembered. Then, they saw an opportunity. Olga was in Kyiv with a young son. The Drevlians sent 20 of their finest men to demand she marry Prince Mal. They killed her husband and proposed a takeover, thinking she had no choice. The 20 men arrived by boat and were brought into her hall. Olga listened to them, and she said yes. She told them she was pleased and could not raise her child alone. She asked them to be carried into court in their boat by her people. The Drevlians loved this display of glory. Of course they did. That night, on Olga's orders, a deep trench was dug in the courtyard. The next morning, the men were carried through the streets in their boat. They were still looking down when they were carried over the trench. Olga leaned over and asked if the honor was to their taste. Then, she sent a message to the Drevlians accepting the marriage proposal. She demanded they send their most distinguished nobles to escort her. The Drevlians, unaware of the first group's fate, sent their best leaders. Olga received them warmly and offered them a bathhouse to wash away their journey. They went in. The doors were barred from the outside. The bathhouse burned. In 2 moves, she had removed the tribe's entire leadership class. She wrote to them again, requesting a funeral feast at her husband's grave. The Drevlians agreed, wanting the alliance despite their growing confusion. She arrived with a small company and wept at Igor's mound. Drink was brought out, and the Drevlians drank, but she did not. The Drevlians woke up the next morning as a people without an army. Only one town held out, Iskarostan, where they had killed her husband. She besieged it for a year. This was a woman with a calendar. When the town would not fall, she offered peace for a token tribute. She asked for 3 pigeons and 3 sparrows from every household. The Drevlians laughed, thinking the terrifying widow had finally asked for something harmless. Every bird was released at dusk with smoldering tinder tied to it. The birds returned to the eaves and lofts of their own homes. The town caught fire in 100 places at once. That is the part everyone remembers. The birds. But it is not the end. Afterwards, Olga ruled. She governed the Rus herself for many years. She did something no one in her position had ever bothered to do. She fixed the tribute. She set down in law how much each owed. She turned extortion into taxation with set locations and a set schedule. She replaced a system of greed with a system of written rules. Her husband died because no one defined enough. She changed that forever. She traveled to Constantinople and became a Christian, leading to her grandson's faith. Every gold dome in Kyiv is downstream of a decision Olga made alone. The church made her a saint for bringing a nation to the faith. She is remembered as a saint, a fire, and an administrator. But the part I cannot stop thinking about is the beginning. They stood in her hall and told a widow she would marry their prince. And she said yes. She wasn't refusing them. She was counting them.